Hello my friends, good morning to you, and welcome back to our reading of the Spirit's book. And we are at chapter 4, the Law of Reproduction, which englobes the topics, the global population, the succession and perfecting of the races, obstacles to reproduction, marriage and celibacy, and polygamy. Well, this, I'm telling you, it's like amazing because I'm feeling like I'm at a law school right now. But it's like a book written basically by the spirits. Well, let's go to the global population. Question 686. Is the reproduction of living beings a law of nature? And then the answer is, obviously, without reproduction, the corporeal world would die out. Question 687. If the population continues to follow the constant progression that we now see, will a time come in which it is too excessive for the earth? Answer: no. God has foreseen this and always keeps everything in balance. God does nothing useless. Since they only see one angle of the picture of nature, humans are unable to perceive the harmony of the whole. Then there is the topic, the succession and perfecting of the races. Question 688. At this moment, there are certain human races that are obviously diminishing. Will a time come when they will have completely disappeared from the earth? Answer: yes, but others will have taken their place, as others will someday take yours. Question 689. Are the human beings of today a new creation, or are they the perfected descendants of primitive beings? Answer: they are the same spirits. They have returned to perfect themselves in new bodies, but they are still far from perfection. Thus, the present human race, which, through its growth, tends to invade the whole earth and to replace the races that are dying out, will also go through its own period of decrease and extinction. Other more perfected races will replace it. These will have descended from the present ones, just as the civilized human beings of the present day have descended from the brutes and primitives of early eras. Question 690. From a purely physical point of view, are the bodies of the present race a special creation, or have they evolved from more primitive bodies by way of reproduction? Answer: the origin of the human race is lost in the night of time, but since all belong to one great human family, whatever the primitive roots of each race were, they have since been able to mix with one another and produce new types. Question 691. From a physical standpoint, what is the distinctive and dominant characteristic of primitive races? Answer: the development of brute strength at the expense of intellectual prowess. The opposite is occurring nowadays. Humans act more through their intelligence than through physical strength, and yet they accomplish 100 times more because they have placed the forces of nature at their service, which the animals cannot do. Question 692. Is the improvement of animal and vegetable species through science contrary to natural law? Wouldn't it be more in conformance with that law to allow things to follow their normal course? Answer. Everything must be done to arrive at perfection. Humans themselves are an instrument that God uses as a means for accomplishing the divine ends. Since perfection is the goal toward which nature ends, since perfection is the goal toward which nature tends to favor, such perfection is to correspond to those ends. Question that follows this answer. But in their efforts to improve various species, humans are generally motivated by a personal sentiment that has no other goal than to increase their own enjoyments. Doesn't this diminish their merit? Answer. What does it matter that their merits are void provided progress is made? It is up to them to render their labor praiseworthy through their intention. Besides, by means of such labor, they exercise and develop their intelligence, and it is from this aspect that they derive the greatest benefit. Now, there is a topic which is obstacles to reproduction. Question 693. Are the human laws and customs that have as their objective or as their result the creation of obstacles to reproduction contrary to the law of nature? Answer. Everything that hinders the operations of nature is contrary to the overall law. Question that comes after this answer. Nevertheless, there are species of living beings, both animals and plants, whose unrestrained reproduction would be harmful to other species, and of which humans themselves would soon be victims. Would it be wrong to hinder their reproduction? Answer. God has given to humans, above all other living beings, a power that they should use for good and not for abuse. They may regulate reproduction according to their needs, but they should not hinder it unnecessarily. The intelligent action of humankind is a counterbalance set by God among the forces of nature to reestablish their equilibrium. This is what further distinguishes humans from the animals, because humans do so with full awareness. In their turn, the animals take part in this equilibrium. While the instinct of destruction has been given to the animals as a means for their own self-preservation, it also causes them to hinder the excessive and perhaps dangerous overpopulation of the animal and vegetable species that nourish them. Question 694. What should be thought about means that are meant to prevent reproduction with a view to satisfying sensuality? Answer. It proves the predominance of the body over the soul and demonstrates how deeply humans are immersed in matter. Now there is a topic which is marriage and celibacy. Question 695. Is marriage the permanent union of two individuals contrary to the law of nature? Answer. It represents progress in the evolution of humankind. Question 696. What effect would abolishing marriage have on human society? Answer. A return to the life of the animals. And then there's a note from Kardec under this answer saying the following. The free and fortuitous union of the sexes belongs to the state of nature. Marriage is one of the primary acts of progress in human society because it establishes fraternal solidarity and may be found among all cultures, though under the most diverse expressions. Abolishing marriage would therefore be a return to humankind's infancy I'm sorry, and would place humans even below some animals that demonstrate examples of stable unions. I have to drink some water. Sorry. Just a pause for my limited human body. Now, I can continue. Question 697. Does the absolute indissolubility of marriage belong to the law of nature, or is it only a human law? Answer. It is a human law that is quite contrary to the law of nature. But humans may modify their laws. Only those of nature are immutable. Question 698. Is voluntary celibacy a state of perfection that is meritorious in God's sight? Answer. No. And those who live in that way out of selfishness displease God and mislead others. Question 699. Isn't celibacy a sacrifice for certain individuals who desire to devote themselves entirely to serving humankind? Answer. That is very different. I said out of selfishness. Every personal sacrifice is meritorious when it is made for the good. The greater the sacrifice, the greater the merit. And there is a note under this answer saying the following. God cannot be self-contradictory or regard as evil what has been divinely made. Thus, God cannot see any merit in the violation of the divine law. Even though celibacy per se is not a meritorious state, it becomes such when it constitutes a sacrifice made on behalf of humankind by the renunciation of the joys of family life. Every personal sacrifice with a view to doing good and without selfish ulterior motives elevates the individual above his or her material condition. Now, there is a polemic topic, which is polygamy, which is done by many people, right? So, we have question 700. Is the approximate numerical equality between sexes an indication of the proportions in which they ought to be united? Answer. Yes, for everything nature has a final purpose. Question 701. Which of the two, polygamy or monogamy, is more in harmony with the law of nature? Answer. Polygamy is a human law, and abolishing it is a mark of social progress. In God's view, marriage should be based on the love of the individuals who join hands. In polygamy, there is no true love. There is nothing more than sensuality. And then there is a note from Kardec under this answer saying the following. If polygamy were in accord with the law of nature, it would be universal, which would be materially impossible due to the numerical equality of the sexes. Polygamy must be regarded as an institution or particular legislation appropriate for certain customs, but which social perfection will make disappear little by little. Well, guys, I hope you like this reading as much as I do, and I wish you a great day. God bless you all. Big kiss. Bye-bye.